What's up, race fans, and welcome to another episode of the Pecino Report. It's season 2021, episode 25, and we're in Texas. That's right. It's been an American Wild West adventure. It has indeed. So, episode 25. Here we are. Very appropriately, we could say it's the Raul Fernandez episode. Didn't he have an incredible race? He's had an amazing month after surgery and everything. He's doing so well. So this episode's partially dedicated to Raul. Honorable mention also goes to Daniel Falzon. Whoever doesn't know who he is, look him up. I think we're going to be talking to him soon. Great Aussie superbike racer. But also, a couple of years ago, this would have been the Maverick episode, the MV25.
Yeah.
Maverick was number 25 for so long. Why isn't he 25 anymore? Well, apparently his birthday is on the 12th. And so in 2019, the number was available, so he switched back to number 12. But he was number 25 for so long, so we'll make it the Mav episode as well. But anyway, here we are. We've just had, like I say, a massive Wild West adventure. It was so cool, so much stuff to talk about. Before we do that, Andra, so this week you had to go and watch a race at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning? How'd you handle that?
I woke up without an alarm and daylight savings has kicked in here. So it was...
Oh, that's right, yes.
It was 10 past 5 I woke up, which was normally 10 past 4 the day before. And I was just like, bang. I was like, race starts. Ran and got my iPad and got back into bed and watched it and then went back to sleep. So I just watched MotoGP and then caught up on the other races after that. But oh, yeah, I think my body knew. I was like, yeah, but I was very disappointed because I love Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night watching all the build up. And it was like, oh, hang on, it's in America. It's in the middle of the night. So ruined my weekend a little bit.
It is. It's so weird, isn't it? Boss, El Jefe, how you doing, mate? You're back home, I see. So how did you handle things in the US?
I have to tell you that I didn't travel to Texas.
Stay away this year.
Yeah, no, I had everything booked, but at the end I decided that it didn't was worth, And
yeah, fair enough.
I have to say that immigration, there were some episodes in immigration, like always when you go to the US.
Yeah.
So it depends so much on who you get on the desk, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For example, the guy who is eating a donuts behind you, they put him in a room for 3 or 4 hours.
Really?
Why?
Checking all the papers and asking, and we have to contact, I don't know, the Pentagon, Mars, or whatever. But others
party papers?
Yeah. Why? Where are you staying?
Yeah.
Which is your mother? So on.
Oh my God.
But in other places like New York, for example, they just went through it. There always depends on who you get on the counter.
That's exactly right. It really, I've been there plenty of times, and it's a lottery. It genuinely is a lottery. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yes, so much action to talk about this week. So do you want to start at the bottom and work our way up? Let's start with Moto3. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say that Andra was very clever or fortunate to watch only MotoGP. Because if she had watched Moto3, she wouldn't go back to sleep.
Nope. I actually made that comment because I watched it yesterday and I was just like, shit, I'm glad I watched it in the middle of the night. It would have been like,
yeah,
I might have had nightmares if I went back to sleep.
It would have been an adrenaline shot,
Oh, absolutely mental. So look, first of all, fantastic to Izan Guevara that he's got his first race win. Sort of after he had a little dummy spit when he thought he wasn't going to get it, but he did eventually get it, and so good on him, fantastic. And I think everybody wants to talk about that thing that's behind me at the moment, that crazy crash.
Look, we have seen many things during the season, and I have seen a lot of things, but there were seconds where I thought that we were watching a tragedy live,
Yes.
But really a tragedy.
Yeah.
It was, look, I still have goosebumps. I get goosebumps when I think about it. Yep. Wow. You didn't know where to watch at because there was one rider hitting the guardrail on the left. Another one just almost overrun by another bike. It was like
there were bodies and bikes everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. I had to go back and like rewind it, and then, as you say, Manuel, you got to watch one person and bike and watch where that goes, and then go and rewind it and watch where another person goes, just so you can understand the physics and the dynamics of what happened. It's absolutely crazy. So lucky. But I mean, before then, it was a fantastic race. It was one of the really, really good Moto3 races that I've seen recently, where, you know, the pack pretty much stayed together and it was good, nice, close, clean racing up to that point. But so what's your thoughts, Manuel? Do you think racing incident, or did Onchu really just have a brain snap?
Look, the first we have to say that was the second race, the second Moto3 race of the day, because they had to cancel the first
flag
race because another rider crashed. Salak, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Salak. Yeah.
So because of then they restarted the race with a race, a 5-lap race. So everyone could imagine that it would be pretty intense, knowing the kids who are around.
Yep.
So, and this is how it started. Okay, so very intense, but like Moto3 always is, and then happened this scary accident, you know, and it happens. Look, Onchu basically overtook. Who was the Spanish rider he overtook? Alcoba, and then he tried immediately to take the slipstream of the rider who was in front. You know, that was the maneuver. So because he passed one and then he immediately closed the line again, trying to get the slipstream. And then he touched the front wheel of Jeremy Alcoba, and then it all started. But it was an error. Okay. But in this case, we have seen much more dirty things in Moto3. This was an error. It was not.
It wasn't intentional.
Move.
And
exactly.
They showed him talking about it after, even though you couldn't hear him, but you could see him explaining, and he was like bang, as if like, I don't know what happened. It
was one of these things. Look, this would never happen in MotoGP because the rider have more experience. They know, you know, on a straight, you cannot change the lines that way, because on a straight, everybody, and you don't know how close the guy is behind you. So this is clearly a lack of experience. It was not done on purpose, of course. But it could have been a tragedy.
Exactly. And look, I suppose that one of the things I'm getting at is, realistically, he's been given a 2-race ban for this. We haven't seen a ban like that in Moto3 since Romano Fenati.
2018, when he grabbed Stefano Manzi, or tried to grab Stefano Manzi's brakes.
Yeah, so
that was intentional.
Yeah, so as you say, Manuel, this clearly wasn't intentional. So does the punishment fit the crime? What are you thinking?
Yes, I think. Look, it is necessary to start somewhere. You know, to stop what we have seen. Look, the craziest race I have ever seen, ever in my 26 races years in MotoGP, was Barcelona Moto3 this year. Do you remember what happened in the last lap? Riders stopping in the middle of the group, not wanting to. And then when they went down the straight, it was like 18 line guys and changing direction. So it has been a harsh punishment, but an absolutely needed punishment.
That's probably a really fair comment. Yeah, exactly. We've spoken on this show so much about Moto3 and about how FIM's not doing enough to stem all this craziness. So yeah, that's probably a really good point of view there, Manuel. Thank you so much for that.
And I have to tell you something else that happened, but this time in the World Superbike with the 300 Super Sport class. You know that in the middle of the practice, riders start to stop on the side, you know, on the track, waiting for each other's, with 41 bikes on the track.
Oh my
That's
God.
the great motto of Super Sport 300.
Yeah,
They
this is
start
2
with
weeks
41
after Vinales has passed away in that same category.
in the same category and with a lot of riders around. So what did the race direction do? Red flag, and all went into the pit lane, and then the race director started to explain them. I don't know if he did right or well. This is something that can be discussed, but these things have to be taught to the riders before they go out.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So
And
it seems
I
like
tell
they're
you
doing
something more, and to the riders and especially to the teams, to the managers, the team, because at the end, look, I don't want to excuse, but these riders are all teenagers, you know?
Yeah.
15, 16, 14. Okay. You can tell them when they go out, the only thing they remember is the number of the WhatsApp of their girlfriend. Nothing else.
Exactly.
And they're out to prove a point because they want to be Valentino Rossi and they want to be Marquez and they want to be.
Yeah, and I think it has to be first the race organization that does the briefing every race. You know, and then especially the teams, the team manager, the team owner, they have before the rider go out to remember with the helmet on certain rules.
They need to grab him like Jack Miller grabbed Mir by the helmet.
Exactly.
Hair in the eyes and say,
look
don't
at
be
me,
a bloody
look at
dickhead.
me. Yeah, no, and
He was
they have to
not a
do
happy
this.
camper.
So they have also a big responsibility in this, very big.
Exactly. And we saw after that second stoppage, we saw obviously the race was red flagged again, and no one knew what was going to go on because it was a 5-lap sprint that had 3 laps, I think. So we saw them have one representative from each team went up to race direction to discuss what was going to happen, and it was all up in the air and everything. But as you just pointed out before we came on air, there's a clear regulation to cover this.
Yeah. And I tell you something, the team manager, he was very smart. Aspar team manager, who is Gino Borsoi, he went to that meeting with the yellow rule book, FIA yellow rule book. And in that meeting, he said, what are we discussing here?
Yep.
Here's
the rule.
Black on white, it's written what we have to do.
At least someone knew the rules.
Yeah, obviously, and as we've got it on the screen now, so we'll put it up on the screen now for everybody. But everyone that's listening on the podcast, as opposed to the video,
it's true. He pushed it, I think, because he knew that his rider was winning the race.
Exactly. Yeah. What a complete coincidence!
The question mark is to know if he had he have done this, if his rider was not winning that race. But anyhow. At the end, things happened, and there have been a lot of criticism saying, it has been absurd. Hey, there are rules. They just follow the rules.
Because it was like for Izan, he actually pulled out of the race because he had mechanical issues, and then all of a sudden he was the winner.
Yeah, his shot gave out. We saw
exactly.
And we should have saw the face of the WP guy when they told him what happened. He was like, "Oh no, what's happened?" But I saw them come back and they were pushing his bike down. It was going boing, boing, boing.
It had just the spring.
Just the spring. Exactly. Yeah. It was insane. It was crazy. So now good on Izan Guevara for getting his first win. That was fantastic. And I think
Izan, by the way, Izan is like Jorge Lorenzo, like Mir, like Augusto Fernandez from Mallorca.
Right.
Small
island boy. Yeah.
So he knows Mir's mum.
He knows me. Everyone knows Mir's mum on Majorca. She's a local.
In the moonlight, everybody was dancing in the moonlight.
Apparently, so yeah. Was that Mir's mum on the phone? Was it? Yeah.
And I have to tell you something, Izan. There is a picture we are going to show here.
Yep.
Of Chicho Lorenzo's riding school.
Oh yeah, yep.
Where you can see Joan Mir, you can see Augusto Fernandez, and you can see Izan Guevara with 4 or 5 years old.
Team Majorca.
At that racing school.
All right, and that's as you said, the last few weeks they start at 4 or 5 years of age. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I have to tell you something. When this championship started, there were two kids that arrived with a huge name, let's say, no? That were Pedro Acosta and Izan Guevara.
Yeah, okay.
In our national championship, that are basically the reference, Izan beat Pedro Acosta.
Really? Wow.
So
Okay.
he arrived at the favorite. But as you can see, and I think he classified second in the first race in Qatar.
Yeah.
So everybody said, wow, he's coming. But as being a teenager, you know, they are, how do you say, their confidence, it goes up and down.
It does, yeah. It's very easily disturbed throughout the year. Yeah, that's
probably in the shadow of who was his rival.
Yeah, Acosta, exactly. That's exactly right. So do you reckon with Acosta going up next year, do you reckon we'll see Izan maybe step up for another year in Moto3 and do well?
Yeah. We have Izan is a guy, and we have to talk about Sergio Garcia.
Of course, yep.
Who had one of these scary accidents. He lost the control of the bike, and he saw heading straight against the wall, and he jumped off the bike.
Yeah.
But he jumped too late, and he hit against the wall. So he was declared not fit.
Yeah.
Oh, he had a liver.
No, here in the back. How do you call it?
On the kidney, they cleared him to begin with, but then went to check and he had a
hematoma, no?
Oh, hematoma. Yep.
Yeah. So yes, I think that next year Team Aspar will have a nice couple with Sergio Garcia and Izan Guevara. Yes.
Definitely very nice.
And by the way, Pedro Acosta can be world champion in the next race as well.
He can. That's right.
I had money on Garcia. I was so sure he was going to do it.
Yeah, if he wins and so what is he? He's 18, 28. He's like 30 points ahead of
he needs 50 points ahead.
So yeah.
So if he gets out of Misano with a 50-point lead, he's world champion.
Yep.
And
if Foggia has a DNF, then he's basically going to be world champion.
That is difficult, but it can happen. It can happen.
Foggia's been riding pretty bloody well, though.
He's been riding
and
very
I tell
well
you something that Pedro was born again last Sunday after that accident.
Hitting that fence.
Yeah. Do you think this could be? Remember last year, Manuel, we spoke about the moment for a lot of riders, the big crash. Do you think that could be because he's had a few this year? Do you think this could be his moment?
He didn't get hurt.
He walked away.
Right.
You need to get hurt after that. You need to get hurt and lay in the hospital for a while.
Okay.
Thinking about.
You think fee is not enough? You need that hospital time as well.
No.
Right.
Look, and he joked, which I don't think it was true. He joked saying that he had changed his leather and was ready to go out for the third race.
Yeah. Wow.
He joked, but his bike obviously was not ready. But anyhow, he joked like, he likes to do these kinds of quotes like, hey, I am here, the new John Wayne. He's
very, very confident, as you need to be.
Yeah, good for Texas, indeed.
Oh my God, I can't believe we talked about Moto3 for this long.
I know, it's the Moto3 podcast. Woohoo! All right, let's get up to Moto2.
Neil Morrison would be proud of you, Manuel.
He would indeed. You've come so far, Manuel. You really have. Enjoying Moto3. It's good to see.
Yeah, well, let me give me the right to put a little bit of the Spanish anthem here.
Oh, yeah.
Because we won the 3 races.
That's right.
Can you sing it for us, Manuel? Sing it for us.
No, we don't have
There's no words.
No,
I've got the audio. I had it in one of the ones a few weeks ago. I'll drop it in here as well.
I think we all have heard it a couple of times.
I think we've heard it plenty of times.
You are going to learn it. Okay, Moto2.
Moto2. Oh, Remy. He's killing us.
Can you tell? Do you know what? I didn't watch Moto2. Can you tell me what did he do? Did he push too hard and
he just
shit it?
Yeah, he pushed too hard, and then I don't know if it's like turn 13 or 14 or something where it comes around a couple of left-handers and then it tightens right up into almost a hairpin left-hander, and he just took a much too wide a line.
How far into the race?
It was about 7 or 8 laps to go still, I think.
Where was he?
he touched he entered in
That's
the
the dirty stuff. Exactly.
Was
Yeah.
he
and
up there?
he's-
Was he?
He was second. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
second behind Raul, and
Pushing.
he was just pushing too hard,
Yep.
trying to keep up with him, basically.
Oh,
So, but
I don't know.
dear.
I don't know. Wayne, his father, during the weekend, he quoted like, "Okay, for Remy, fun is over. Now it's time to race." So maybe
I was going to ask if his dad was
Pressure.
there because he tends to spit it a bit when his dad's there. Well,
So
Yeah.
it's I look. Obviously, we are 2 against 1. I am the Raul, and you are the
nah.
Remy's.
I
But
told you
no,
that Raul and his little brother does something to my ovaries, so I'm a bit torn here.
Yeah, I don't
happy to
have a
see
problem seeing Raul win.
Yeah,
I think he's a fantastic.
incredible.
He deserves it. He really, really does.
Mhm.
He's having an amazing year.
You know what he has done? He has been in the last races. If I am not wrong, he has been doing pole position and winning.
Yep.
And this has been a extra pressure for Remy, seeing
With a
the other
broken hand.
guy
Mhm.
arriving. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And you have a look where they're going to next. They're going back to Misano and then Portugal and then Valencia.
Mhm.
Who is fast at all of those tracks?
Yeah, he has won in all of these tracks. He won in all of them.
Yep, that's right. So
And my question is, look, the other day yesterday night, I was doing a program in Italy, a TV show, and I asked them if they thought that Raul is a real, how do you say, crack, a really something special, you know?
oh yeah, yep.
I mean, he will be a real crack because the figures he has now in Moto2, the numbers,
Mhm.
he has matched the number that Marquez had,
Yeah.
and there are still 3 to go.
And I think we spoke about this months ago where, all the rave was around Acosta and how incredible he was. And we mentioned Raul's doing exactly the same thing, but it wasn't as maybe flashy or because he had Remy there close to him. But now everyone's, he's.
Yep.
But are we witnessing
Yep.
the arrival of a new super crack or
Maybe
not?
Quite
So
possibly. That's the thing. It depends on, I think, who's going to be there with him when he gets the right bike up there as well.
and the thing is to know, because the figures are amazing. The problem is to know how good or how bad are the riders he is racing with.
Yeah.
That makes the difference, because he may
Exactly,
be
yeah.
super good, but maybe the level of the rest. So then when he arrives, he's not that good. But everything shows that we are in front of somebody, one of these special guys.
Yeah.
At least it looks like this. He's 20. And to sustain this is, remember what he did in Moto3. He finished the last season winning, winning and doing good results. This season, he started and he has grown in the second half of the season, which means that he has been learning. And now, this line, he has followed in the 2 classes.
Yeah.
and we saw at the
exactly.
beginning of the season, he was really not sitting back because I think he was in the front a bit, but it was obvious that he was stopping and watching and learning. He didn't go into the thing going, I'm the champion from Moto3 and I'm going to do this. He stopped and watched and learned from it.
You know that his manager, which I think is important, he has kind of 3 managers, and one of them is the son of Kenny Gardner, who is a big staff inside KTM.
Okay.
So, and he says that he has been working hard with a sport psychologist.
Oh, good. Okay, cool. Early. Nice.
Look how mature he says. He said, it's not because I thought that I needed it. It's because I thought it would help me to grow.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, good on him. That's really good.
That's a massive
20
step
years,
just there.
20 or 21
That's
years
crazy.
old. So,
But I mean, we do see kids come through like this You know, I mean, Mir was similar in Moto 3 and Moto 2. Well, maybe not so much Moto 2, but definitely Moto 3. Who else do you think has come through who maybe hasn't lived up to that hype as they've come through to MotoGP more recently? I mean, when you look at your Bastianinis or Luca Marini, exactly. Do you think those guys
no,
had the same hype?
Marini took 5 years to switch from Moto 2 to Moto. Bastianini also. Viñales didn't perform like he's doing in the only year he was in Moto 2. Rins didn't perform in his 2 years like he was doing in Moto. The only one you can compare with is with Marc Marquez.
Yeah, okay. Wow. So that is an indicator that there's something pretty special.
Yeah, I am pretty curious because really he's amazing. He's looking mature. He's riding, you know, when you see him ride, it seems easy, you know.
Yeah.
If you compare the riding style between Jorge Martin, who is another rookie that is surprising, and Raul, one is like rodeo, no? It's like a rodeo on a Ducati.
Yeah.
And if you see Jorge Martin riding, you just watch it get tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so stressful.
Yep. Oh, even I noticed the difference. Sorry, I'm jumping here to MotoGP, but watching Jorge Martin, you can tell it's physically more demanding on him because he can't work the bike as well as the experienced guys. But
and if you see that, you look at Raul, so they are complete. In Raul, you can put I don't know, this music in Ibiza, you know, this yeah.
It's like a Spanish Frankie.
It's a Spanish Frankie.
So
there you go.
That's the situation. And now Remy needs. We will see how
the pressure is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just needs to stay in front of him. Pressure. Basically, he just needs to stay in front of him.
Trying.
That's what he's got to do.
He's trying.
He is indeed. I mean, he did a good job the last few races, but just this one, I
think he thought he had it in the bag a while ago, and he.
Yep.
I think he thought he had it.
But look, in the last races, Raul has been doing pole positions, right? And this in Remy's head, maybe he has a little bit more than me. So the situation has changed. The first part of the season, Raul was the one who was watching and learning.
Psychological.
It will be super interesting. And those two guys are steps ahead of the rest.
Oh, completely. I
can't wait to see them both. I say this every episode. I think I cannot wait to see them in a MotoGP team next year.
I'm thinking the same thing, but I was just going to say, I wonder what it's going to be like as a big bang for them, big comeback down to earth to be on that bike. That's not going to be right up there. You know, they're going to be at the back of the field. They're going to be at the back of the grid. I wonder how that's going to affect them.
Remember, there have been 3 brands looking after Raul for next year. 3. Aprilia with a super offer, Yamaha super offer. At the end, he had to accept KTM.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see Raul on a Yamaha next year.
Yeah,
that is cool. The most easy bike for a rookie, no?
Yeah, is it 12-month contract they've got so that all of them change at the end of next year? Is it?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know how they. But we will see. We will see. If he does very well, KTM won't let him go, of course.
Yeah, exactly. If they do the right thing, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk about the main event. Realistically.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah. So, Andra, as you were saying, like seriously, for the first however long you didn't get to see that guy racing in all his glory, but you've seen it a couple of times now. What do you think of that from Marquez?
I'm questioning how hurt he is because we keep talking about that every week. And like I mentioned before, you see Jorge Martin by those abs he's got is obviously crazy fit and he struggled. How does someone with an injury that like Marc Marquez has, how does he ride a race out like that if he's not okay?
That's why they call him an alien.
Because look, he explained this after the race very well, and it's so interesting to hear. He said, look, I have accepted my situation. So I am not fighting against how I am.
Learning to ride with it.
Exactly. And I am just learning to ride with it. So I have to change how I train during the week,
Mhm.
how I approach the weekends, how I race. So, you know,
Mhm.
Clearly
when
working
you
for
go,
him.
when you go through a tragedy, the best thing to go through a
Accepting.
tragedy is first, accept it, and second, plan the
Mm.
future as quick as you can.
Yeah.
So is
This
he
is
still
for everything, for everything. And
For
this is
life.
exactly what he is applying.
Is he still having surgery soon?
I think he spoke about this as well. His problem is not the bone. The bone, his problem is the shoulder.
Okay.
And he said that probably they will have to fix it.
Mhm.
The bone will be more in the future.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. So I think this winter they will have to fix his shoulder after the test.
Mm.
And we will see. But Marc is incredible. Look, everything what happened in Texas went as planned
Mhm.
because he arrived there knowing his weakness, right? So
Yep.
he knew that he had to reserve.
Yep.
Yes,
Reserve.
reserve his shoulder for Sunday.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
If you go through the practice session, you see that he never did more than 5 laps in a row.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was noticing that he was doing short sprints. I was
Claro.
waiting for his long session that he
No,
normally puts in.
because
Race
he was
simulation.
reserving his shoulder for Sunday.
Right. Okay. So that's all part of this adjustment that he's making. He
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
he's fit, so he knows he's going to be able to do it, but he doesn't want to fatigue himself too early and hurt himself
He
too early.
manages the situation. Then on Sunday, everything went perfect. Look, the first thing he did well was classify front row.
Mhm.
Mhm. And the way he took
Then-
off and
Great
Yes.
start.
Just-
Oh my God. The
He
start.
knew, he explained everything after the race.
Mm.
He said, I knew that Quartararo would not fight with me because he was on championship mode.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I had to start in front.
Mhm.
So when he starts in front and see Quartararo second, then he says,
Mhm.
perfect situation.
You just
And
go.
look what he does. Then the first 5 laps, he was slow. He was lapping around 205, something like
Mm.
pretty slow. And then he says, after 5 laps, I knew that there was a drop in the tires.
Mhm.
First drop. He said, first drop, then unexpectedly I pushed and I lapped half the second faster than the others, just to take them by surprise.
Yep.
You know, he does not just get out and just give up. So
So
5 laps, he pushed half a
Mhm.
second. He saw that it worked. Then he pushed another 3 laps. And after the race, he says, in these 20 laps of this race, I have pushed just 4.
wow.
Yeah. Just at
The
the right time.
Yeah, the 4 laps that allowed me to open a gap, and knowing that Quartararo would not be the Quartararo of Misano,
Yeah.
that he would accept that second place.
Mhm.
It was pretty
Perfect.
comfortable for me. So
Perfect.
incredible.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. And Quartararo was happy. He got away with second place. He was saying it felt like a win. And realistically now, as they were saying, it's pretty much match point.
Yeah, 52 points in 52 points, and he only has to finish in front of Pecco in Misano.
Yep, exactly.
The only thing he has to do.
Yep. So it's
Crazy.
almost world championship time, but let's not put the champagne on ice just yet, because we've always all seen crazy things happen, haven't we, in MotoGP? Oh my God. So
we mentioned tires just before. If I can just ask about Jack Miller had the hard rear, which was different to anybody else on track, which I was hoping was going to pay off for him. What happened with that, Manuel? Because he's breaking our bloody hearts over here in Australia.
I thought it was a genius move.
No, look, the shame of Jack was the fastest guy in Kota.
Yeah.
FP4, FP2, FP3, FP, all the FPs, he was the fastest guy. But then when it came to Q2, the famous non-working tire appeared.
Is this another Maverick repeat, or do you think it's actual tire issues? Is it Jack or the
No,
tires?
I until now, I was kind of the attorney of Michelin in this story, but
Mhm.
I retired from this judgment. I give up. Look,
Yeah, it's starting to affect too many riders at critical times, isn't it?
look, remember,
Mia,
after
we've
the
seen had the
race,
same thing.
after the race, Pecco Bagnaia said, okay,
Yep.
I more or less admit I have the championship is gone.
Yep.
He said, but I have not lost this championship in this race, meaning that he lost it in Silverstone, where he finished 17th because of
the tire.
a bad rear tire.
Yep, exactly.
Well, exactly. So the only one who has not had a bad rear tire this year is
French guy.
It's because he has no hair on his body. It makes him go.
That's about aerodynamic.
Yeah, but look, and I
Yeah.
think that this P10 on the grid was the reason why he chose another type of tire,
Yeah,
because
completely.
that has ruined his race. So he gambled,
He had to do
tried.
something.
Okay, yeah. So there was no sense doing the same than the others when you start P10 and you know that you are faster than the rest.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I thought it was a great move. He got up to fourth after 3 or 4 laps or something, or 4 or 5 laps, and he was looking good. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, he's on a hard rear as well. He's gotten up to fourth with a hard rear tire in the first couple of laps.
Wait for
I
it.
thought,
Yeah.
he's in with a chance here, but no, wasn't to be.
Yeah, and Pecco did just the other way. Pecco once again did not start well, and then he came, and we have to say that he finished third in a recovery race.
Yeah.
So Pecco has shown that the click has happened. He has the maturity now, the self-confidence, the tranquility to come from the back, pam, 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 and get arrive behind Quartararo.
Yep. And a good ride from Rins as well, realistically, really trying to repeat. He clearly likes that track. The Suzuki does have problems around there.
Was it his first win, MotoGP win, was in 2019 at that track.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So, and I noticed that he and Mir were having a bit of a dust up with Miller through that race as well.
Did Miller bump Mir earlier in the race?
Mm.
Did he? I tried to look. I couldn't see.
No.
No, I thought that there was a prelude to what happened
at
the end.
Look, I spoke with Jack, but because before in Misano, I had spoken with Mir, and Mir said to me, because in Misano happened exactly the same.
Yep.
We didn't see that, but it happened the same. So Mir, after the race, told me, look, I understand that Miller hates me, but he said he has a reason to do it. He said, but I swear, it looks like that he has, how do you say, un imán, when 2 metal pieces, pang.
Oh, he's got magnets.
As he said, he said, it
he's
seems
got a
that
Miller magnet.
Because every time I have an incident on the track, it's always with him.
Oh, no.
So I told, obviously, as a journalist, I asked yesterday, Jack, I said, Jack, what is happening? It's always Miller. It's always Mir. He said, it happened in Qatar. It happened in Assen. It happened in Misano. He said, and I behave pretty well. I am growing.
Yeah, he did too. He just grabbed him by the helmet and went,
exactly.
Oi.
For him, it was very.
I'd love to know what he said.
Yeah, he would have liked to do something much more radical, let's say. And Mir, look, and Mir was not. Here you see that he did apologize.
Oh, he kind of just took it and went, yeah. I don't think he meant to.
And then
he's just immature.
But after the race, Mir didn't stick to that. He said no, because Jack was very
something about going off his line, or it was like Jack was obviously
he was taking
defending
weird lines or something.
Yeah,
it's like he's trying to defend
stopping you from going past.
He just Mir admits that he just ran into Jack's bike. He admits it.
Yeah.
And the one who took profit of it was Bastianini, who finished
Exactly.
sixth.
Yeah. Good on him.
Another rider who is growing a lot. And I want to mention special mention for Jorge Martin.
Yeah.
He was my rider of the race. I know we say that that's crap because he didn't win, but like I was, he rode his ass off.
He did.
Exactly. Look, watching his pace in practice, he had not the pace. And he said it, look, this race, I have no chance and that. But Jorge has a quality that when he grabs behind somebody who is fast, even not having been able to do exactly, and he goes. And I saw him there. He said, "Okay, it will be 5 laps." Then I said, "Wow, it will be 10," and I said, "It will be 15." But at the end, when he went off track, did you see when he went off track? After the race, he said, "Look, it happened because I was physically destroyed. I was so tired that I didn't have the control anymore."
Yeah,
that track.
I'm not surprised with that. I was going to say, I'm not surprised with that track. Jesus, talk about the Wild West.
I know everyone had talked about how bumpy it was, but then we talked about it being resurfaced, and I was like, oh yeah, and I was like, what was it like before then? And that was, I've not seen anything like that on any other track.
The slow motion, the fantastic realization that we see, the slow motion. There were moments with the bikes lean over with the 2 wheels in the air.
Yep.
Imagine how they felt on the bike.
Oh yeah, very comfortable.
They were just cruising around, obviously. No, but the problem there, and it's very difficult to fix. The problem there is that the ground moves. You know, exactly. The rodeo. It was a good rodeo. And the problem is that they resurf, but the ground moves. Is not settled, and this changes. This makes the tarmac.
It's all sand underneath it, isn't it?
Yeah. No. And the riders told the organization, we will not return here until they resurface the track, and said at least between turn 2 and 10.
Didn't they resurface it before this round?
Yeah, the track had 3 different type of surface.
So how's it gonna, if they do it again, how's that going to improve anything?
But
the giant cheese grater just to smooth off the top.
the owner of the circuit, I met him when they first in 2013.
Does he have a big hat and a big mustache?
He has a huge hat. He is maybe 90 years old. He has money.
I couldn't believe what was in the middle of, we've talked about the Japan track and bits, that in the middle of this track, there was like a big stage for concerts, a soccer stadium.
Yep.
What? America,
right?
I should be surprised.
Exactly. And this guy says, I'm not going to spend again, I don't know how many millions, because what they need to fix that ground is to open it and put, how do you say, concrete? Concrete. You know, to try to settle it down. So imagine how much
20, 30 feet down. Then he's put pilings in.
Exactly. That's it.
Millions and millions of dollars.
They won't do it. So I think that we have seen the last race in the circuit of the Americas so far.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
In the theory, the championship would return there in April next year.
Yeah.
So everything should be done until April, which I think it won't.
I was talking the other day with my brother about going over there next year for the April round, but we're of the same opinion. It probably won't go ahead. So we're probably going to look to go to either Thailand and then Phillip Island, or maybe Phillip Island and then Malaysia, one after the other.
Thailand sounds terrible. I'll come to that.
Yeah, all right. We should do all of them. We should do Thailand, Phillip Island, and then Malaysia. And then, just finish off the whole month.
And then you go to the lawyer to sign the divorce.
Yes, exactly.
We'll spend all the money first on the trip before we go.
That's what I'll do. Yep. So here we are. So we've had, what was it, 15, 16 rounds or something? We've got 3 rounds left. We've got 3 weeks until everyone's back over in Europe. You think Fabio's pretty much got this one in the bag, Manuel?
Look, the Misano race, Stu, will be so interesting because they have raced in Misano 1 month ago.
Yep.
Or no, 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. Then they tested after the Grand Prix. Remember, there was a test, 2 days test.
Yep.
So they are supposed to have the best setup for that circuit because, hey, how many hours do you need to set up the bike? So it will be a completely race to, how can I explain? To see who is the fastest, you know, because all the rest is settled. So
everything's
it's like,
perfect.
Let's go out and see and really race. No strategy, no race. Nice. Full race.
That'd be cool.
That would be nice. That
as long as those Moto3 guys can keep it together, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Bloody hell, indeed. Right. So are you going to be getting out for those next couple of rounds? Are you off traveling again, Manuel?
Yes, I have my ticket already booked for Italy.
Yep. And then Portugal?
Portugal, I will ride down to Portugal, and Honda is offering me a gold wing.
Oh, no, stop it. Really?
Yeah.
you may as well take a limo.
So I don't know, because it you know, if I ride the gold wing means that I am finished.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
With music, air conditioning, or whatever.
GPS, you got everything in there. Heated grips. So I'm sure you'll love it.
Massage seats.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah. All right. Look, before we break off, Manuel, any other messages? Anything else you've picked up from the weekend?
No, I think that I think we spoke about everything, and looking forward to see the big duel now. Yeah. Now the eyes have to be on Remy versus Raul. Our duel.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the main focus for moving forward.
Yeah, that will be the big emotion, the big stuff in the last 3 races.
Yeah, that's a mix. Indeed. That's a hard one to watch, because I'm okay either way.
Yeah, love it. It's a win-win situation. I love them both. It's gonna be great.
And Raul, who when he talks, it seems pretty mature, says now inside the team it's starting to get hot.
I see. Yeah, they're not buddy anymore. There's gonna be
exactly at the beginning of the season. Hey, you are the rookie.
Yes, buddy.
He's the boss. Okay. Now he says that there is. It's spicy. He says the word he used, it started to get spicy.
Spicy. Hey, bit of healthy competition. Why not?
Indeed. All right, Andra. Any messages for the viewers and listeners before we head off?
I just wanted to quickly mention to the listeners and viewers what I did on the weekend. I've got to put it up on my Instagram. I went to Tailem Bend Racetrack, which is FIM. What do you call it? Approved here in near Adelaide. And my friend has a 2012 Ford Mustang, and he let me drive. So I've never been on the track. So I went out and I did about 5 laps, I think. And I did 220 kilometers down the straight, and I owned it like a boss. It was friggin' awesome. And I stayed on the track. So that was a positive. So I'll put that clip up on my Instagram.
Yeah. Check it out, everybody.
I'm still 10 minutes after.
Super motard ride down. Yeah.
Did you ride or did you just watch?
I can't say.
Oh, okay.
but we may have some video that we may have to put up there as well. No, I didn't get to it. But what I did see, actually, before we go, it was mainly super motards, but they had some like junior bikes there as well. And I did see a mini bike, and this kid was probably 6 or 7 years old. This mini bike was dusting up these grown-ups on these motorbikes, going up the inside, stuffing it around them. It was amazing to see. I got some video of it. I'll see if I can stick that up on the Pecino Report Instagram page as well. It was very cool.
Cool. And I have to tell you something. Look, before doing Grand Prix, I was motorcycle tester, right?
Cool, yep.
And we tested all the new models. And I remember when the ZZR 1100 appeared.
Oh, yeah, yep.
We went to a special
1991
facilities that are here in Spain, where the cars develop the future cars.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's super secret. And there is an oval, there are 2 straights, 3.5 kilometers long.
Nice.
And then
No.
two, how do you say, two walls,
Oh,
basically.
the banked
Two
walls.
banks.
Yep.
That each of them is 500 meters. And there they check top speed.
Yeah.
So the Kawasaki was the first bike who did 300 Ks.
That's right. Yeah.
So there we went. And the feeling is incredible. Look, the sensation is, I remember it perfectly. It was like full gas on the straight, 300 or something like this.
Yep.
And then you saw him, this bank is like seeing a wall in front of you.
Yeah.
And you know that you could go full into the wall because it was designed to just.
Yeah.
And
The
obviously
banking just sucks you down into it. Yeah.
Exactly. The suspension compressed to the maximum, the tire got, but it was amazing because you were thinking, okay, it may happen, but your wrist was not obeying your.
Yeah, it's got a life of its own.
brain.
Go,
And then, the wrist was closing and you don't open, and the wrist suddenly got his own life. He said, no.
yeah. Hang on a minute.
Oh my God.
And the banking is so how do you say, so stiff? No, so
steep. Yep.
steep, so steep that if you closed, you came down.
Yeah.
Because you had not enough inertia.
Yes, yeah, that's right. No,
Oh
that's
my
centrifugal inertia. Yeah.
So it was terrible. It was terrible. And obviously you could do this you could do only 2 laps because the tire did not resist.
Yeah.
Imagine how they got squeezed against the wall when you enter there. So at the end, you enter there only at 250 or something like this.
I'm so slow. It's terrible.
The adrenaline. By the way, did you see on the TV screen the heartbeat of Jorge Martin?
Was it going off the
200?
charts?
He was. I saw that. 199. I was like, Jesus, how
exactly.
is that guy alive?
And he was doing this for a while.
Yes, yeah.
199.
Yeah, he's got a heart like a sparrow.
Yeah.
He would have slept well that night.
When we have seen this similar with Maverick Viñales, who did maximum 140, 145.
Yeah.
Quartararo in his peak did 170. Jorge Martin was at the 200s, like
200.
Can you imagine his heart?
That's a heart attack. That is a heart attack. Awesome.
That's insane.
It's amazing. All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Absolutely fantastic. So look, get on the socials, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, engage with us on all the social media platforms, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of the Pecino Report. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Adios.
Yeah.